Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota, and I'm here to bring you a live paper crafting class. Yay! I'm focusing on kits again. I hope that's okay, but they're on special this month, and I want to make sure that you have a chance to take a peek at the Kits Collection kits. On sale up to 30% off. So I'm going to demonstrate for you a fun fold card today. I'm using a kit that is currently unavailable in the US. I'm not sure about the other markets around the world, but the Boho Beach kit is right now sold out. It's going to come back because it's still showing in the online store. So just keep your eye out for it. I'm not sure if it's going to come back during the sale or not, but you can apply this idea, this fun fold card idea, to other products that are out there. I'm calling it the Cut Panel Open Gatefold card. An open gatefold card, I'll actually demonstrate, when I demonstrate the base of the card, I'll show you what an open gatefold card is, and then we'll cut the panels, okay? So, first time catching me live. Nice to see you, Christy. Thanks for catching me live. And welcome to all of you. Welcome to all of you who have been with me for a long time. I love you. And a big welcome to those of you that are new. Also, a big welcome to our moderators. We have moderators on YouTube and on Facebook. On YouTube, we have Trisha Josephs. Yay, Trisha. She's here to answer your questions during the live because I cannot come back to them and answer them for you. Can't go back into those comments and actually tag you. It's not possible. So she does that for me. Thank you so much, Trisha. And thank you to Lisa Marshall on Facebook, who is there to answer questions during the live as well. I love you guys. Make sure that you tag them if you want them to see your post right away. Otherwise, just keep asking. They'll eventually see it. What else do I want to mention before we start? Comments get you entered into the prize drawing. So please comment away. Tell me what you think of the project as we're going, or tell me what you're going to do later on today. Tell me what your last crafting project was. We are in an in-between stage. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what's going on in our house right now. An in-between stage. Our Vienna guests, which we loved having, have left. They've gone home, and they've gotten home safely. We had such a blast. It was during my birthday too, and so it was fun to, it was kind of like celebrating turning 55 with just a big party that lasted 2.5 weeks. It was so much fun. We're sad to see them go, but we have plans to go back to Vienna now. Yay. And then in just a day and a half, so tomorrow evening, we pick up our exchange student from South Korea. Pyong Kang will be joining us for 10 months. He is just a year younger than my youngest, so we're going to have a 12th, an 11th, and a 10th grader in our house, and we're so excited. So, thanks, Tracy. So I decided to don the hair topper today. I had COVID back in May after the incentive trip, and I'm having some hair shedding again. It's not fun. So feeling a little sparse lately. I decided to make myself feel younger, so especially since I just turned 55. Okay, let's get going. I'm going to first show you the, where did it go? I'm going to first show you, here it is, the PDF that you'll be able to print off when you get to the blog post connected to this video. Now, this video, in the description of the YouTube video right now, has a blog post link. You can't actually get to the blog post yet because it'll go live in a little over an hour at 12:15 p.m. Central Time. And but then when you get there, you'll be able to see photos of the cards, I should say, because I'm going to show you 4 of them. And then we'll be able to see the measurements, the supply list that's visual. You'll be able to download this PDF. The video will be embedded in that. So all of that information will be all in one spot. But this is, and we're going to make this just a little bit smaller so you can see it more. If you want to take a screenshot because you don't think you'll have time to come back to the blog post, you can do that right now. And then my face is in it. Yay. But you can go ahead and take a peek. We've got measurements listed in there. And this is for 1 card, but you can get 2 cards from one of the kit cards and one of the envelopes. And I'll explain that in a minute too when we start diving into the supplies. And then the supplies are listed right there. We're going to use the Boho Beach kit, basic white 12 by 12 card stock. And then we've got some pool party, the basic white envelopes, because if we're going to cut up the envelopes in this kit for decoration, then we need to replace them if you're going to mail them or give them away, right? Let's see, what else? And then I added a couple embellishments just to spruce them up a little bit, the grosgrain ribbon that's in pool party color, and the flat adhesive back pearls. Then you've got your basic tools in there and some adhesives, extra adhesives. The kit does come with some dimensionals, but I'm going to add in mini dimensionals just so that we can get some tiny little spots raised up. And you can already see what the card's going to look like, but I think it's going to be better to see it when we dive onto the desktop. So here we are on the desktop. Oh, I forgot to put my ring on. Okay, let me first share with you, though, the card that inspired this, because I had shared, every once in a while I share cards that are gifted to me, sent to me, cards that are swaps, that sort of thing. And when this card came up in the video, and with even my team, they were like, oh my gosh, we got to learn how to do that. So this is the card that I was gifted last Valentine's Day. Thank you so much, Lisa Fisher. And when you open it, it looks like this. And she said in her notes that she got the idea from Connie Stewart. So thank you, Connie Stewart, also. And this is what it looks like. And so I thought it'd be fun to make a version of this. One thing that I did notice is it's kind of a wobbly card because I think these strips were a little thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my strips in here a little bit thicker. Plus, when you look at the card, it's pretty narrow. So we're going to make it a little bit wider, and we're going to use the 12 by 12 for a card base rather than the 8.5 by 11. So we're adding an inch onto this direction, which makes it a little bit wider. And then, of course, because we're making these strips a little wider, we're going to make this section a little narrower. But it's the same concept. So if you wanted to, you can apply the idea to an 11-inch length of cardstock. Just note that your measurements would be every 1 3/4 inches instead of every 2 inches. So on the 12 by 12 cardstock that will cut down to 5.5 by 12, you're going to score at 2, 4, 8, and 10, or 2 inches and 4 inches in from each side. But on this one, you're going to score at 1 3/4, 3.5 from each side, and then again 1 1/4, 3.5 from this side. Okay, and I believe she has like 1/2 inch in here. She does. So that's what you would do if you want exactly the same measurements that Lisa Fisher did. Thank you again, Lisa. Yay! Okay, so let's start with our base cardstock. When you get 12 by 12 cardstock, you have to purchase it in a set of variety of colors except for the white. So that's why I'm using the white. Sorry, everything's sitting on top of my trimmer. That's why I'm using the white, because I thought, well, this is the easiest one to get with one shade. So we're going to insert our cardstock into our trimmer and bring it to the 5.5 inch mark. And we're going to cut so that we're making a 5.5 inch tall card base, which we're now going to score. So let's score at 2 inches. And you're just going to score all the way through, even though we're going to have a cut panel from here. You're just going to cut all the way through. And then, or I'm sorry, score all the way through. And then we'll score at 4 inches. And you can bring it all the way over to 8 and 10. But I find that when you're doing a card that mirrors itself on each side, it's easiest to remember just a couple measurements rather than double the amount of measurements. So I always say from each side, 2 and 4 from each side, right? So here we go, 2 and 4. And now we have the same thing on each side. You're now going to fold inward with both of these panels at those 4 inch marks. And you can see how now we're getting that crossover look where one is tucked inside the other. But we also have another score, and that's right in here, right? So if you were to take and put those two scores like that and fold out, that's called an open gatefold, because a gatefold comes from the middle and opens outward, but we've also got this extra stuff here. Now I don't want to score too much on there. I'm just going to flatten that back out because we don't want our panel that's going to extend when we cut to bend. Okay, so we're going to go back to that flat amount here, and now we're going to cut the cutouts. Okay, so when you're doing your scoring, we did our score mark here at 2 inches. You can then take your cutting blade and start at the 4 1/4 inch mark here when you're looking on your trimmer. And let me zoom in a bit here. So when you're looking at your trimmer, you have, and I'll move my scoring blade out of the way and grab my take your pick tool or your scissors. So here's your 4 1/4 inch mark. So if you bring this little middle part of your blade down, you can slice from there to the 1 1/4 inch mark, which is here. That way you're cutting exactly on your score line instead of coming back and trying to find that score line. So it's maybe a good idea for those of you that tend to not have ease in coming back to find those score lines. Do that score at the 2 inch mark, and then immediately before you lift it up, take your trimming blade and cut at 4 1/4 to 1 1/4. And then you've got those 2 cuts in there, okay? So you've got your score lines, your cut, and now we're going to turn in this direction and we're going to cut those panels out. We're going to bring this to 1 1/4 inches using this side of our trimmer now. Okay, thank you. Just saw a comment from Gregory Malone. Oh, no, it wasn't Gregory. Sorry, where was it? Good tip, score from each side. Michael, thank you so much, Michael. Okay, now we're going to take and we're going to cut from, did I just do this wrong? All right, we're throwing that away. Okay, back to square one. This will go quickly though. I told you to cut in the wrong place. 5 1/2 by 12. Oh, now you can see my messy desk. Zoom in just a tad there, Rachel. Come on, zoom. Technical issues. Hang on just a minute, you guys. We need to get that off the screen. Let's clean this up again. Oh my gosh, my screen won't change. This is funny. Oh, come on, zoom in. You guys aren't seeing what I'm doing. Why are we having technical issues? Seriously, you're just gonna have to see from afar the whole time? No! Sorry, I'm zooming and it's not zooming. I'm trying to pinch. Okay, it was going so well. What happened? Let's try that one more time. Zoom, zoom, zoom. It's not zooming. Well, I have to bring my tabletop up? This is crazy. Human is good, says Claudia. Ah, yes. Okay. Pinching, pinching. The screen is not pinching. La la la. Maybe now is a time for a commercial break, but I don't have any. You guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm going to just bring this all over so you can see. What I'm doing here is I see a screen from far away, right? And I can't pinch in to make it come closer to you. This is what lives are all about stressing out the person who is doing the live to challenge them. Let's just try this. My goodness. So we cut the card wrong and we're having, there, that's a little closer. We're gonna have to tape this down. You guys can't see it, but I am like turning beet red inside my inside my face right now. Yeah, I'm not letting it show. Okay, there's one piece of tape. You gotta tape these down so they don't move on you. There's another piece of tape. Tear that off. Well, this will be fun. Let's see how awkward this can be the whole time. I love that you're laughing with me and no one has gotten mad. You know what? I'm going to click on this. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Rachel, it moved? It didn't move. No, let's try it again. What I did is I brought my screen up. I can't pinch the screen, you guys. It's not zooming in. All right, measurements. Just remember what I had at the beginning. 2 and 4. Let's do them. 2. This is so awkward. And 4 is where you're going to do the cut. Lift it up, cut it 4 1/4 to go to 1 1/4. Okay, that's where you want to do those. Maybe my confidence was too high. 2, and this is going to bite though if you guys can't see it close up because there's so many little fun details. Okay, now we're going to push down at 4 1/4, cut to 1 1/4, lift it up. Plus I can't see my cuts as well. It did move and then it widened again. It didn't on my end. Maybe it's doing it on yours. Oh, I got it. I got it. For some reason, I forced it with 2 fingers. Oh, it's touchy. Moving that out of the way. All right. So let's see. Can I come in a little bit more? All right. So now we're going to do some cutting. Yay, we're back. Okay. Bring it to the 1 1/4 inch mark on this side with that edge. And you're going to cut from this spot to that spot. You're going to start at the score line and move to the score line. Oh my goodness. Okay. So you're starting and stopping, and we're just making a little cut on each of those. Now, you might as well stay here and do the other side or the other end, which I will shove into the view. So we're going to start at that score line and cut to that score line. So our little section up here is 1 1/4 inches versus the 1/2 inch. If you're watching on a huge screen TV, it's great. Oh, I love that, Shirley. Yeah, then you can just walk up to your TV. But I did it. I did it. Yes, thank you for the cheers and the laughs and for making me feel okay. All right, we're going to press that down and we're going to cut all the way up to that score line, lift it up and press it down and cut. I love the kind of trimmers that have the arms on them like Stampin' Up's trimmer because you're able to do cuts in the middle. So here are our cutout sections of our card. If you look at Lisa's card again, and we'll just flip it over to the back side, you can see it's the same idea, just the cuts are in different places. Now we're going to fold and fold, kind of like a Z fold, right? There's our little Z fold, back and forth. Fold and try not to fold along those creases. Here is where you have the cutout or cut panel, I should say, open gatefold. Next, we're going to press with our bone folder to give everything a good crease. That will emphasize keeping it flat when the card is folded shut. Okay, so this is going to fit into our medium envelopes, and it's a little off because I've been stressed. Normally this is nice and straight. Okay, it's going to fit into our medium envelopes with just a little bit of gappage on the sides because instead of being 4 1/4 inches, it is 4 inches wide. It's not going to be as pretty as the others, you guys. That's okay though, right? Now let's go ahead and cut one of our inside panels. So right now we're going to take this piece and cut it at not 4 inches. That is the width of the inside of the card right in here because we want to make a panel for in here. And this is 4 inches, but we're going to make it 1/8 of an inch shorter. So instead of 4 inches, we're going back 2 little notches on our trimmer to get 3 7/8. And we'll do the same thing in the other direction at 5 3/8. So instead of 5 1/2, bring it back 2 little notches at 5 3/8. This will be the piece that goes on the inside of our card like that. And now we're going to take and cut into our kit. Let's bring in the kit, the star of the show. Sorry, I've got things thrown all over now already, and I hardly have any supplies on my table. All right, this is the kit. Ta-da! The kit is called Boho Beach. And again, currently it's unavailable in the online store in the US market. But keep your eyes peeled. Keep checking back every few days or once a week or whatever. And I'm positive it's going to reappear. I'm not sure if during the sale it will. But with this kit, you can make 4 of one card, 4 of another. You get to make 8 cards with this kit. The way that I'm doing these cards, though, and the way I tend to think lately, is that instead of taking these supplies to make this card and these supplies to make this card, we're going to just take those 2 sets of supplies and we're going to divide them into several cards. This set of supplies will make 2, this set of supplies will make 2. So 2 cards are going to multiply into 4. All right, so let's do that with this one. Let's just take and cut that card base. We have a nice dark table. I hope that's okay. It probably is because we have cardstock that's more on the lighter side. All right, so for this one, we want to also cut our card base pieces because we want them to be panels on our card for decoration. We're going to get 2 panels from this half and 2 panels from this half. When you have a kit card, you actually have a score line going through the card already, so you don't have to worry about having trimmers or bone folders or whatever. And it's made so that you can just fold the card in half. Because this is already 5.5 inches tall and I want it to be a little bit shorter, like our pool party layer, we need to cut 1/8 of an inch off. I'm choosing to cut that 1/8 of an inch off the water section off the top here. So I'm bringing this to 5 3/8 inches. And that's where I'm removing that piece. You can remove it at the bottom if that's your preference. And now I'm going to cut in from the side. Instead of making my panel 2 inches though, I want to probably cut it at 1 7/8. But I also want this panel to be really close to the inside edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at 2 and I'm going to go back 1 tiny little notch. So that's 1/16 of an inch shorter instead of 1/8, okay? And I'm going to zoom in and hopefully this will work so you can see where that is. So instead of here, it's here. We're going to start there and cut. And we're going to do it again. Start at the 2, bring it back and cut. We still have a little bit extra next to that score line that we didn't cut. When we do the next card, you're going to cut from this side. That way you avoid the score line going through. So our 2 little pieces are ready. Now let's go ahead and cut our envelope. For our envelope, we want to also have a 5 3/8 inch tall piece. So if we look at this, we can see that the envelope comes to this mark on our trimmer. To get to 5 3/8 inches, we have 3/8 of an inch in there. So you're going to actually just, if you're not a math person, you're going to start at the 1/4 inch and come back just 1/16 of an inch. So you're going to start right here on that little notch, okay? So if you cut there on each side, cut that section off, flip it over, cut that section off, you're going to have a piece that again measures the same as these. Okay, they're all 5 3/8 inches tall. You see that? So let's take now and cut a couple panels. Actually, we can get 4 from here. We're going to cut a couple panels from here for our first card. Because we have this little archy place, and it's arching like that, we're going to trim it off. And I'm going to start on this side here because this one actually narrows a bit in this little area here, and we don't want that either. So I'm going to start cutting from this side, which means we're going to get a little score line coming through one of our layers. And I figured out a way to solve that. So because I like to work on this side of the trimmer to hold a lot, if we can, we're going to bring it in over here to the 1/2 inch line, right in that spot, and we're going to trim that off, remove all of that, and now we've got a nice flat, square, cornered edge, okay? Now we'll take and cut at the 2 inch mark. And actually, we're not going to do 2 inches because we want this to be 1/8 of an inch smaller. So we're going to start at the 2 and come back not just 1 notch, but 2. So we're at 1 7/8. And we're going to do it again at 1 7/8. And here's where we have that fold line in there, but it's unavoidable, so we're going to cover it up. So these 2 pieces we'll use on this card just to show you how I covered up, but you can get another couple pieces out of here and still not go into this area where it starts to curve, okay? So that and this, those will be used for another card, okay? All right, now let's look at the embellishment pieces. So if we did that with both of our card bases and our envelopes, you could get, you can see already how you can get 4 different cards from that, right? So here is, oops, hang on. I'm back. here are 1, 2 cards, and then again you can get 2 more from these. This is what we have left for embellishments. So let's take our embellishments now and let's take a peek at how they work. I had little Miss Nora, love her. She created the kit card for us. Let me show that to you. This is her card. She designed this for us during one of our lives a couple weeks ago. Very pretty. But I found that my leaves had some ink, so I had to get creative. And I'm overlapping my leaves in one of my cards, and you'll just see, you know, that's, you just cover up your issues, right? If you have an issue on one of your pieces. So yeah, we have a little bit of brown on there. Or I could take and just color the leaves brown. There's ways to solve that problem, which was what I was going to do with this umbrella, because the umbrella white against white was a little intense, but it's going to work because it's a different kind of white, and we're going to pop it up with a dimensional so that it has a shadow behind it. But another thought I had was you could just take and sponge color onto this to make it a different color. Here are our 2 sentiment strips from the kit. Oh, sorry, I put these aside. I didn't mean to yet. Here are our 2 sentiment strips. What I did is I just cut them each in half, and it doesn't have to even be perfectly. Okay, so we're going to cut those each in half, like so, and that's going to give us some layers for each card's sentiment pieces. So hang on to those, 1 for each of the 4 cards. I think I'm using this one. I don't know. I'll use that one. Okay, and then what else do we have for our 4 cards? We have a chair, we have an umbrella, we have 2 wild wheat leaves, and we have a crumb cake and Lost Lagoon set of leaves. So I paired these together, this, and this. These are our 4 separate cards. I'm going to set these aside. You'll see samples of those towards the end. We're going to use these on this card. So I'll set those there. And I think we're ready to create. So let's do some stamping first before we assemble. We're going to substitute our pecan pie ink pad for a larger version of the ink pad, just because that tends to make things go a little faster. We're going to use this stamp image, which on the stamp set little sheet here, you can see it's this design. And then we're going to use the words that also come with that. And we're stamping all in pecan pie, but if you want to, you can switch out your colors and use maybe Lost Lagoon would be pretty on there. Okay, so you can change things up. The kit also comes with adhesives. We will be using the adhesives in the kit, but you can also add in, like I mentioned at the beginning, some mini dimensionals for the tinier little spots. So stamping wise, what are we going to stamp? Let's flatten our card base down. And now I don't have my grid paper underneath to protect my table surface. So hopefully, maybe what we'll do is we'll just grab a little Post-it note here. Okay. So for our card, we're going to do, and we might not even need this. That's okay. We'll just set it aside in case we do. We're going to stamp a little branch that goes up in here. Let's flatten this out again so it stays in a great position for stamping. Open up our ink pad, slide it into the base, and now we're going to ink up our stamp just by pouncing on it. You barely have to tap because these are very spongy ink pads, so just tap to get the color. And this one is going to go up and to the right, like that. And if you see me peeking over there, it's because I'm looking at my finished sample. Okay, so there's our pecan pie little leaf, and we're going to do one more. Pecan pie again is the color of it. This one's going to come in from this side and just stamp down like that. I guess we didn't need any scrap paper underneath. So we have our 2, oh, and I didn't even show you that because I'm too zoomed in now. Okay, let's stamp our words. Actually, let's do the words a little later because I want to make sure that they line up. So for our design now, we can start adding these little panels. This panel here, again, is the one with the score line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put ribbon on that. I'm going to take my 7 inches of Pool Party grosgrain ribbon, and I'm going to put a little adhesive along the back side here of the piece. So it's going right along that score line. And then I'm going to take my ribbon and add it to that adhesive, bring it across the score line, flip it over, flatten everything down, and put it nice and firm against this spot. So there's our ribbon, and don't worry about it being loosey-goosey. That's okay, because we're going to tack it down even more. Okay, the next step is to take this and add it to, oops, I'm getting stickies on my fingers. We're going to add this to our card base. Sorry, the seal is not coming out the way I want it to. Is it going right to the edge? No, we're missing a little bit of it. Go right to the corners. Might as well just keep having issues. Let's just have adhesive issues. All right, so there, we have that done. And now we're going to lay this on top in this section. This is the 2-inch wide section. And we want it to look even all the way around. So when we do that, we have a 1/16 of an inch all the way around in that section. Okay, 1/16 of an inch of white showing, I should say. Grab your 4-inch piece, and we're going to take and tie a knot. So we're just doing an overhand, and we're going to tighten it. But when we tighten it, we're going to grab the ribbon underneath and kind of pinch it. And that way, and let's zoom in. See, that's another thing. My grid paper keeps me in the center of my screen, and now I feel like I'm off screen. I'm going to add my grid paper back in, you guys. So I pinched it upward a little bit so that it's easier to get a look that tends to pop out at you instead of go inward. So there's that. Again, grab your grid paper. We got a grid paper drawer here. Because Rachel was spoiled when she created her room years back. I think it was 10 years ago now, 2013. I love my room. Okay, we're putting the grid paper down again, everybody. I have to zoom out, center it. This is what I do before the live starts. I take and I center it off to the left a bit because my head's always in the lower right corner. There we go. Now we know where to put things. Okay, bringing our pieces back in. This one can just be added with seal directly. So we're going to just draw the seal down. Oh, I know why. Because it's running out. I might have to replace that while we're doing the live. Okay, there is our second panel. And if you want to, you can make your panels flow, but they're so far away from each other that you really don't need to worry about that. They do not have to be cut from the same section because the eyes won't even notice that. All right, so there's that. Zoom in. These panels can be next, and when we put these on, keep in mind this one looks like a beach and water, right? So you probably want to have your, well, you could have your beach that way, but I think it looks better this way. So we're going to stick one here, and we're going to put the other one here. And in Lisa's card, she had just decorated this section here, so you kind of have a window there, which is great too. But I felt that this also added some stability, plus it shows off more of the beautiful paper. So we're going to add that in there, and the way that we do that is we want to put adhesive on this section and not on the back side of this. So we'll just flatten this out, and we'll add our seal in those spots. We'll draw this up, kind of like it's bending its knee. We'll lay this in the crook or the elbow or whatever of the card, and then we'll connect like, I can do it better this way, hang on. Oh, it's already connected. I'm going to pull it off so you can see what I'm doing here. So I do it this way. I connect like this, and with my 2 fingers like that, I just bring it up together. And now I know I can bend that card without this getting pushed away. And it's in as far as it'll go. You'll still have a little slit there, and that's okay. It's not really seen anyways. And that's how I add that. Okay, let's do the other side. Oh yeah, I almost put it directly on there. Nope, don't do that. Put your seal over your glue in that spot. Put it in the corner like this. Then bring the two, bring your card with your two hands together like so. That way you'll know it'll fit. Okay? And we also have this nice white line going between this panel and this panel and this panel and this panel. And I think it looks pretty consistent. I love that you can see the whole beach on the inside. If you were to connect these pieces, you could make a giant bridge fold card. You know what bridge fold cards are? I think that's kind of cool too. Okay, and then the inner panel we're going to tape down before we stamp. You can choose not to, but I'm doing it this time because I trust with our photopolymer clear stamps, I'll be able to see right through and know where I'm going. So there is the base. Now let's add our decorations. When you cut, and now I can't show you because I've cut it up a lot, but when you cut your 12 by 12, you're cutting your 5.5 and your 5.5 inches off, right? And then you're cutting, and I can't do it with this one. Oh, hold on. And then you're cutting, how much is this? 6.5. Oh, this is perfect. This is what I would have had left over. Okay, a 6.5 inch wide piece by 12. Okay, if you do another 5.5 inch card from here, you have an inch left over. There's an inch between here where you would cut and this spot, and you can get 2 half-inch strips out of there. You don't need the full 2 inch or 2 half-inch strips, but you need at least a 1/2 inch by 3.5 inch strip. So we'll just trim that from this piece of cardstock here. We'll move these scraps back out of the way because they weren't going to be useful anyways. Okay, next is taking this and stamping a sentiment. So we're going to grab our 2 sentiments, and we have sit back and relax, and we have enjoy your day. And the sit back and relax one I thought would be great for the front of the card, and this one on the inside. You can make this be a card for retirement, for any special achievement, a birthday. So the sit back and relax is going to get stamped on our strip. Oh, and I said to make it 3.5 inches, so let's do that right now. Let's cut it at 3.5. About 3.5 is fine. Okay, stamp that and stamp it off to the right. And again, we can see right through it, so we know we're going to get it nice and straight. There's that. And let's add some embellishments. For our embellishments on the right-hand side, we're going to stick our branches down like this. On the other cards, I had a chair, I had an umbrella, and I had the other leaves. And depending on how those sat, that sort of told me where this was going to go. Okay, but most of the strips are about 1/2 inch from the very top. Let's add that right now directly with our seal adhesive. 1/2 inch from the top of the white cutout section. And I brought it right over to the blue layer, because this isn't bent, so you don't even have to worry about that score line. Just ignore it going through there. Then this is going to get added here, and we're going to use dimensionals. Grab our dimensionals. We want one right here at the end, one sort of in the middle, and this one's just going to go right over the top of our ribbon like that, and that's going to help hold it down, hold the ribbon down a little bit more. We're going to cinch this up a little higher because remember we just tied it on, we didn't glue it. If you want to, you can stick a glue dot under there. So now we'll take the backings off of our dimensionals and we'll lay this on here so that it fills up that little space inside the sentiment strip. And it's parallel to the top and the bottom of the card. It's going to extend a little over. That's okay. I meant that to happen so that you could trim it up, just in case your sentiment goes in a little further. Okay, so now we have that done. We're going to grab our paper snips with the ribbon on it. There it is. And we're going to trim up this ribbon so it's a little bit shorter. And I think I might even stick another, like a mini dimensional under here, because I think on my other card I used more dimension back there. Okay, Rachel, stick that in there. Sorry, I'm doing this where you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just going to put one more down. Now it sits better. All right, next. This side here. And normally I would say get this side done first, but I didn't. We'll grab our multi-purpose liquid glue. And if you want to, you can squeeze out directly from this glue bottle, or you can visit my website at stampyourartout.com and you can click on the shop tab. And the shop tab will allow you to go to my favorite extras section on my website. At my favorite extras, you're going to see things like from Stampin' Storage, from the Country Hive, from Amazon, things that I love that Stampin' Up! Does not sell, because they can't sell everything, right? But things that I love that I've used in my card creations and business. I have some business things in there too. Okay, I'm just going to do a couple more little dots here. This one's going to sit flat. The precision tip bottle you will find there. That's what I'm using here. And I love this idea. Ginny, thank you so much. Ginny from Alaska, Ginny Esslinger. What you do is you take, is it Ginny? Oh, now I know two Ginnies. Ginny, did I say your last name right, or is it somebody else's? Oh my gosh, that's another bleep on the live video. Did you see what she did? She told me to do this though. Ginny. So this is what she told me. She said, instead of having it this way where it's going to come in front of you, flip this little guy around and tighten this. And now when you turn your cap over, this guy is sitting out of the way. Isn't that cool? I love it. Okay, this guy's drying too much. Hang on, we got to get it on here on our card. Okay, just start at the base here in the corner and add it. And remember, because our panel is not bending, we can stick it right there. This one's going to have just a bit of dimensionals. So you're going to need to come in with your dimensionals, and you can cut just a tiny little section. I found it was easiest to just cut a mini dimensional in half because they are like the perfect size. And then you just come in and stick it down on the furthest leaves. Of course, I can't go right up to my desk to do this because then you'll see the top of my head. There we go. So there's one. And then here's another one. And if you want to cut more, you can. But if you have a couple that are sticking out on the end here, on one of these, on two of these three leaves, it's going to give it a little bit of a lift. And then the rest you can have with the glue. Not all of it, but just kind of the last half down here. Leave the adhesive off the middle section, otherwise it's going to look funny when it pops off the card. You kind of want that gradual lift. So this comes down like this, gets tacked down in these places, but this has a lift here. And now there's some shadow behind there, okay? Can't really see in the camera, but there's some shadow behind there. Last but not least is the embellishments. So we're going to and the stamping of the inside. So sit back and relax. Enjoy your day. I'm going to ink that up. Now I'm going to look to see where this is lined up and just line that up on the inside panel around the same area. If I was adding any twine to my cards, I would use about 4 to 5 inches of this. Sorry, those are still sitting there. Tie this into a bow and stick it down with a glue dot from the kit that's been rolled up. That's my suggestion for adding the twine. We don't have twine on this card though, but we have one other embellishment, so we're just going to tuck that in, hold that down for a minute, and we're going to grab our flat adhesive back pearls. They're so pretty. They're iridescent. They have a little bit of a sheen to them, multicolor sheen. We're going to use our take your pick tool, kind of squish up that little gummy end again. Take one of the large ones, push and lift, tack it down here, push, and oops, and tack it down. Oh, I have 2 of them on here. Another one got on there. And then we need one more in this corner. I think I put it right here. There we go. So now you have your glitz on your card, because we always want to have a little bit of glitz. I'm glad you like the idea, you guys. Thank you. And thank you again to Lisa, who got the idea from Connie Stewart. We all share. People that stamp are nice. So here's our sit back and relax, enjoy your day. Again, given the name Cut Panel Open Gatefold card. So there is that. Here is the version I made off camera. So I had just a couple different panels on the inside. Same idea, right? Sorry, we're trying to scoot everything off a bit so that you can see all the cards here. Again, the kits are on sale this month. Kit collection kits. Those are on sale at up to 30% off. Sorry, I'm going to zoom out just a bit. Hopefully I don't go too far where it gets stuck again. Here are a couple other versions. So this card, same idea, but we have sand stamped down here instead of a leaf. We also have the pool party sentiment section behind this. Same idea with the ribbons and the pearls. When you open that up, this is the umbrella card. It's using the same panels, or I should say cut from the same card. Same thing on the inside. This has the umbrella. It's got sand down here, done with the speckle stamp. I stamped full color, and I also stamped off to get the lighter version of the color. And then up here, I put a dimensional behind the top of the umbrella just to give it a little lift and shadow up there so that you can see it. Now it is a white on white, but it's a different kind of white. The kit white is different than our basic white. And then up at the very top, I put a tiny little bow that I made from, I think, a 5-inch piece of twine. So there's that one. Let's see, can we fit them all on the screen? Probably not. Probably not, but we'll give it a good try. Then we've got this one. So this one still, again, has sand. And when you open it up, it has the beach chair with a little bit of twine. And it's using the other card now. That's the sandy-ish looking one. Okay, so that one will go here. Oh, thank you for your sweet words, you guys. I'm glad that you like this. Okay, and this last one, this is the fourth one. So I did 4 from 2 cards, so you can double the cards in your kit. You can also apply this idea to other products. So if you don't get this kit, or you have another kit with really cool card bases or whatever, cut it up and do this same sort of idea, right? So this last one uses the last stamp in the set, the more branchier one. When you open it up, it's got the yellow leaves, or I should say the wild wheat leaves, and it looks like that on the inside. So those are the different cards. Ta-da! If we angle them this way, will that work? Can you see most or all of them? Sorta. Yay! What did I forget to tell you? Anything? I'm looking. Bonus days. This is the month of redemption. So if you ordered back in July and you had an order of at least $50 worth of product in the US, you're able to redeem your bonus day coupon that you earned. And that's $50 before shipping and tax. In the other markets, UK, all that kind of stuff, Australia, you have to check to see what your minimum was back in July, but you should have a bonus day coupon that you can redeem for an order in August. The coupons will not work after August 31st, so please redeem them this month. Yay, I'm glad that you like them. Thank you so much, Noreen, and thanks, Linda. Prizes, we got prizes, right? And let's give a big round of applause to both Trisha and Lisa for helping us out with this live. I also want to give a big thank you to those people, and let's see if I can find it here, in my Facebook, oh, that's my Facebook page, but hey, hi to all of you on my Facebook page. In my Facebook group, if you are part of my Facebook group, thank you for your well wishes the last couple days. I appreciate that. All right, let's go over to our computer screen, because on our computer we have some winners that I have drawn. I drew them just before the live started. They are winners from the Facebook comments and from our YouTube after live comments. And so I've picked 2 winners, and those 2 winners are going to get their choice of goodies. Hang on, let me find them. Got them. Okay, so let's clear off these cards here. And let's bring in the prize choices. We still have some bags that are left because the winners that I picked last time were winners from my team. Congrats to those people. And they're demonstrators, so they already had these past kits. So I gifted them something else. Please, 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 if you have the prize that I draw, you already have that product, don't hesitate to reach out to me anyways, because I do want to make sure that you're getting notice that you won. We can always find something else, like a tutorial that I can email to you or whatever. So these are 3 prizes that are left, along with a precision tip glue bottle. This comes from one of our kits. Hang on, I'll tell you which one it is. It has the cute little containers for, here it is. It's from the Let's Party kit. So you have the Let's Party stamp set and some extras. There's a spot in there. This one comes from the Love Treats kit. And again, ink spot, the stamp set, and some leftovers from it. And this one comes from, oh gosh, I think it's another kit collection kit. Is that this one? No. It is from the one that looks like, here it is. It's the Kaleidoscope kit, okay? So I only have the stamp set left over from that because I used the whole thing up, but I will add some surprise product to it. So you will be getting something. These people, make sure that you reach out to me at my email address. We have, and let me bring you over there. We have ads. We have ads showing up here. I'm going to click out of those. So Diane Doyne DeBoer. Did I say it right, Diane? From our Facebook commenters, Diane Doyne DeBoer. I probably botched it up. Anyways, you won. So reach out to me at my email address, which is shown right there, stampyourartout@comcast.net. And from our YouTube After Live comments, we have Susie Show. Thank you for your sweet comments, by the way. So Susie Show, reach out to me at my email address shown there, and you guys can pick which of the prizes you want. We'll clear this off. Our prize for today, I don't have any more kit leftovers, but I have paper. I have a ton of designer paper. Oh, you can't see it. And I'm hiding it from you. We have a ton of designer paper. Some of it plainer than others. Some of it, I just grabbed like a stack of really plain ones. Hang on. So you can see there's lots of patterns in here. Oh my gosh, one of my favorites. Lots of pretty stuff from the recent past. So you would get a variety pack of designer papers. You might even get some specialty paper like that thrown in. Who knows? All right, so Trisha Josephs. I'm going to peek over. Oh my gosh, okay, hang on. I'm peeking over here to see who Trisha picked. Who did Trisha pick? Because Trisha's my drawer on YouTube here. I don't see the names drawn yet. So there it is. We have, there they are. Oh, that's so funny. Diane, you are lucky. Wow. Diane won twice. She gets 2 prizes today, you guys. I think she needs to go out and buy some lottery tickets today. So Diane, you have won the, I'm here. Here I am. Diane, you have also won the live comment drawing. Diane DeBoer. Let's just say that. And Karen Kozleski. I think I said your name, Karen, correctly. Correct? I hope. Karen Kozleski and Diane DeBoer. I have this thing, because I'm a former elementary teacher, I want to get somebody's name correct, and I want them to respond to me, and you guys can't respond verbally to me, so I have to give up on that. closing up my glue bottle, cleaning up my desktop. I have no more announcements to make. Again, don't forget that the sale is going on for the kids collection, up to 30% off. Make sure that you visit my blog post at 12:15, which is in about 20 minutes. The information is currently on my YouTube description, so those of you on YouTube can already see that. I'm going to transfer it over after this live is done over to the Facebook live video. So those of you who are on Facebook, you can find that link. And the winners will also be listed there in case you ever need to go back and look. You can go to my Wednesday posts and see where the winners are. That's it. I'm going to be live next week. I'll see you next week at 11 a.m. Wednesday, August 23rd. Take care, everybody, and we will see you soon. All right. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.